Christians, I love you, but if you come to me and tell me that you think the is the mark of the beast, and you think that getting a chip put in your hand so you can access your work computer is the mark of the beast, please don't. I don't even want to hear it. Like, I'm so beyond it. Unless this mark is associated with the worship of the beast, right, and his image, then the fact that you can't buy or sell without fill in the blank doesn't impress me that much. In any society, there's always something that's associated with buying and selling. A credit card, a digital currency. There's always going to be something, and then there's going to be a group of Christians in that society freaking out about that thing, embarrassing other Christians and making it harder to preach the gospel in that culture. And y'all, you need to stop. Unless this mark is associated with the worship of the beast, right, and his image, then the fact that you can't buy or sell without fill in the blank.
I want to give all the praises and the honor to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem Recha HaKwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone. Honors as well to you, brethren, fellow believers of this truth, and shalom to the elect. So anyway, this video popped up. This is a guy that him and Vocab collabs here or there together and come against the Hebrew Israelites from time to time, or I at least seen them together. Now, his stance on what the MOTB is different than other Christians, and I'm going to read the comments. Also, I'm going to go into the online etymology, which really solidifies it and bring it home. Just hit it at the point. And he said, what I'm hearing him saying, it has to be associated with the image and everything else. Well, obviously it is, but it also has to be a spiritual thing. In fact, he said there's no proof of something showing up to it, or whatever, but that is the proof. I also show in the comments where it seems like some of the Christians have a little bit more common sense and understanding with this than even Israelites do. So you Israelites got to get up on a level. You're knowing you're Israelites, you're supposed to get up on a level. So anyway, I'll get a scripture, then I'll get to the point. I want to get to the comments. Now, back in the mid 70s, I was very young. I went to a church and they taught this, believe it or not. That's how I knew. But it wasn't the thing we say it is today. They just made it like when you see like a QR code, they just made it seem something like of that nature. They even had it look like that. So it was kind of crazy. So they kind of understood, and that was in the church. They allowed that in the church. Now, many years later, you won't see that. In fact, they even showed us a video of the UPS trucks with the guillotines in the back. I'm not going to say the whole thing. But Mark 3:23, and he called them unto them and said unto them in the parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? Because they was calling him the devil, right? And how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. So there's a rift coming down in Christianity, and it seems like this guy Mike Winger and a lot of these guys will shy away from this topic. So he does a little short clip, and I'll show you the comments. Now, in the comment, he actually tried to clean it up a little and said a couple of things, but then he's still trying to slither it through because this guy has to be set up. He has a job to do. But anyway, let's see some of these comments. This was kind of intriguing because you had some of these Christians who on a higher level of thinking when it comes to this than other Hebrew Israelites. Somebody said, I'm going to cut out some words so for the content of the video. Somebody named Sam Bonilla says, yeah, I'm still not getting MOTB in my hand. Forget that. And then he goes on to try to clean it up. But I'm not going to. It's over 2,000 comments on here. So clearly, it's, you be hours going through these comments. I think it's okay to be discerning about what goes into your body. Somebody said, I don't think. Now, this is where I would say with IUIC, ISBK, a lot of those guys, Adam Abbott, you would think they would leave a comment like this, although this is still wrong. Somebody said, I don't think it's the mark, but I think it lays the framework for it. Right? Somebody else says, it doesn't have to be the mark. This is the one I want to get. It doesn't have to be it, the MOTB, to be terrible. Terrible mistake. But in some places you can't buy or sell, it says, or so they're going to try to make it out of some fairy tale hoax. Somebody say, if only you knew how deep, who, they say the who, the you, well, we know what this is, I can't say it. The rabbit hole goes deep. Getting the MOTB to access your work computer, I've never heard of such thing, and I don't understand why anyone would put an MOTB in their hand. So you could see all the comments. Although I agree these things aren't the MOTB by definition, we must also understand and have discernment that these notions of the mark via mandated technology, right? It says, I suggest you take a very, very deep dive into technology. I mean, this is what he's got like 2,000 comments of everybody disagreeing. So you got to understand what's going to happen is when this conversation come up in the future, he's going to say, well, everybody has their beliefs. We'll figure it out. These are the things that's going to come up next. So now these Christians are being backed in, these Christian pastors. And I remember years ago, the Christian pastors didn't preach anything like that. They didn't preach against certain things like that. But now you see this happening, right? Because, they set up. So anyway, let's go to, I'm going to go to a commentary. I mean, not the commentary. Revelation 13, which we all know. And he calls it both small, great, rich, and poor, free and bond to receive the MOTB, right, in their hands. So when you go into the Dewey Range translation, which goes all the way back to the 1300s as well, it says, and he shall make all, both small and great, rich, small and little and great, rich and poor, freemen, bondmen, to receive a character in their right hand. So when you go into the online etymology, I looked into the word character. The word character says symbol, marked, or branded on the body, symbol of drawing used in sorcery. That's what it says. Used in sorcery. In the Latin, character from the Greek, character, engraved mark. So you can see even in the Greek, which we normally would see charagma, where you see character, engraved mark, also symbol of imprint on the soul, property, instrument for marking, engrave, pointed stake. So we get to see that point, we get to see that. So anyway, there's not much else on it. I really just wanted to make this video short and get to the point of there's other even sources and definitions that kind of bring this all home. In fact, we go to the other translation, the ISV, the International Standard. It says forces the people, important and unimportant, not nations and small nations. Where they get that from? Rich and poor, slaves to be it says marked. This changes the whole terminology. It says to be marked on their right hand, right, or their forehead. So you can see, even then, the other, the terminologies and the definitions made it clear. It's just that these guys, you had a lot of people who managed to use this translation because it doesn't go in full detail and make it what they want to make it, instead of going and doing the research and trying to figure out a little bit more. And what will happen is this conversation will go through over people's heads that Mark Winger is going on. And with something like that, a man that says that and telling Christians to stop, they should all leave. If they were people of the Lord, they would all leave. And secondly, this is proving that they're not prophets. These preachers are not real prophets. So, what do you expect them to do? Anyway, that's all I have on that. Shalom.